I had a question from Mucky Too Hot on YouTube in the comment section on the most recent YouTube video. Obviously made a promise I would upload something regarding his questions. So firstly, SPV, the special purpose vehicle, was his questions, and wanted to know a little bit more about them, how they're used, XYZ. So I thought I would introduce a pretty simple, small example. So that basically is a real estate investor wants to buy a commercial property in London, but wants asset protection, tax efficiency, and obviously investor pooling as well. So essentially, let's imagine the high net worth individual or the company as such at the top of the chain up here. Now he's basically going to have a BVI or Lux holding company, which in turn actually is its own SPV. It's a special purpose vehicle, and the vehicle's just there just to have this holding company to protect him from anything that could happen down here, XYZ. Now, locations for these obviously differ between the situation. It could be BVI, Cayman Islands, Malta, Luxembourg, Singapore, Hong Kong, Isle of Man, UAE, that's an ADGM or a DIFC, Nevis, Mauritius, Seychelles. Additionally, you could probably look at Guernsey. You know, there's a lot more, but these are the most popular ones. We're going to see BVI come into the play a lot. It's cheap, effective, it's very good. Cayman Islands also very good for those holding companies. And then obviously if those Asian influences in there, maybe Hong Kong or Singapore, again, 0% tax remittance on all of them, as long as it's not actually brought into Singapore. So BVI, 0% tax, Cayman Islands, 0% tax. Luxembourg, again, there's double tax treaties, I think, with over 80 countries now. And there's some great tax benefits on the SOPRAFIs, I call them, SOPARFI. Now, there's some great treaties on them. Obviously, the investor can take great advantage of. Now, Malta, again, 5% effective rate on an actual international business. And again, it's got a very strong EU relationship. So it's, you know, ideal for IP holdings and trading companies, XYZ. Singapore, 0% tax on foreign sourced income, as long as it's not remitted to Singapore. Again, very strong banking and very strong reputation. Again, 0% tax on offshore income in Hong Kong. Isle of Man, 0% corporate tax and 0% capital gains. UAE, 0% corporate and capital gains tax. Nevis, again, 0, no tax on global income. Mauritius, 3% effective rate. Seychelles, again, 0%. So those are the locations probably recommended for those holding companies, and that's an SPV itself. So to get actually into the example, we have the locations here. We have this holding company here to protect the investor from here. So I'm going to then use another two SPVs. Instead of the high net worth individual just buying the commercial property to rent out and then return the money back to the investors, he now has the asset protection behind him. Now, let's disregard the property from the actual investors. So the investors essentially invest into a Singaporean SPV, and that is an Asian investment pool for investors from Hong Kong and Singapore. Again, that does not own the property, but that's collecting the money on the promise that those investors will obviously be having a return on the rental income from this. We would then obviously go ahead and set up a very cheap, popular UK LTD, which is also technically an SPV. It's just there for a special purpose. And this directly owns a property. And again, the cash flow goes back into the investment pool to pay back the investors. And additionally, the investor's cut goes straight up back into the holding company where it's now his money. He can now pay himself back up there. So if you hear those feet walking around, it's one of the dogs just running around like a lunatic in the apartment. But that is a great example of SPVs, potential locations for holding companies as well. So I hope that helps you, and I'm happy to answer any more questions. And again, if you do want to just book a meeting with me, you can do. I'll drop the Zoom link below, my website below. Again, you could find more information about us on LinkedIn, the team, XYZ, all of this. Is then down below there. So other than that, guys, have a great day, and excited to hear any more questions that you have for me on any issues in this world.